It's been a while since I smiled like to walk down the aisle. My heart beats like that of a child, and I play with guns like turnstiles, hoping they don't go off, because if so, well, that's my ass getting nailed like Jesus the cross. Landmines, clear warpath, hands of time, refuse small talk. This is yours if you're not afraid to walk. Like a pup, I was afraid to bark, afraid of them eyes in the dark. Lonely roads make a weary heart, food for thought. White chalk make life dark like cakewalk. I take my cape off, words play off, now back to my chaos. Like triage, leave you beeping soft. I'm Charles in charge. They're still wondering who's the boss.
What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? Let's talk about it, the problems we face. Let's fight hatred, no time to waste. The mind is naked, we can see it without an x-ray. Life is easy if we work together. We're the keepers, we're the people, we're all equal, filled with purpose. The past has pain, it'll drive you, even make you take aim. But together is where we should aim. Together is where we should. What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do?
Welcome back to another edition of the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
TJ.
We're on a mic every Monday night, 10 p.m. to midnight, with poetry, music, and cannabis talk. What's going on, man?
Hey, just living in this world, going day by day, like I said before. Just trying to make the best out of it.
Right. So how was your week since you're living in this world trying to make the best of it?
And I'm just trying to stay busy, also try to pay attention to what's going on because, try to keep everyone distracted. But, try to go to work, eat right.
Right.
Try to get a couple workouts in.
You
slacking on that a little bit, but,
A couple of days ago was voting. Did you get out and exercise?
No, I did not. I know everyone says go out and vote, but this time I slipped up. Didn't get the day off.
No
excuses, but I tried.
Mel Gibson didn't vote either. He was saying he didn't like anybody. So
I do vote though, so I just didn't vote this time.
I said, it happens. I mean, in Massachusetts, it's really always mostly Democratic anyway. So, it's not, it's rare that the Republicans win here. Maybe governor, and that's about it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it change for a while. So
nice. Well, this is going to be a little bit different tonight, but we're going to have some fun. Lots to talk about in sports. Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, Boston traffic, the powers to be that are going to be taking over, some people's cities and towns, and even some governors are changing, right?
Yeah, a lot changing fast too.
Yeah, I think these are the times where you really can't, sleep. You know what I mean? So that's the crazy part about it. But it's the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
Let's do this thing.
Take another smoking rhyme. Another smoking rhyme. Take another smoking rhyme. Another. We don't smoke like you do, but when we do, it's alright. When I do, it's alright.
I don't smoke like you do, but when I do, it's alright. Hey, marijuana, don't believe that you're free from slavery. You're not free, you're not free. Them take the shackles off your feet now, but mentally things hazy. You're not free. Hey, marijuana, don't believe that you're free from slavery. You're not free, you're not free. Them take the shackles off your feet now, but mentally things hazy. You're not free. Smoking rhymes. I don't smoke like you do, but when I do, it's alright. When I do, it's alright. I don't smoke like you do, but when I do, it's alright. Take another sip, oh well. Take another, and another, and another. Take another sip, oh well, and another, and another. Take another sip, oh well, and another. Take another sip, oh well, and another. Smoking rhymes. I don't smoke like you do, but when I do, it's alright. When I do, it's alright. Smoking rhymes don't smoke like you do, but when we do, it's alright. When I do, it's alright. We don't smoke like you do, but when we do, it's alright. When I do, it's alright. I don't smoke like you do, but when I do, it's alright. Smoking rhymes. Take another. Smoking rhymes. Smoking rhymes. Take another. Ooh, and another. Yeah.
Get better, grace up the better face. You should never side. I keep on my grace on my better days. The beast, the misses. Life is so far away. You guys make this sacrifice if you want to survive. We on our right to life, and why do we have to strive if we almost die? Life is a piece of shit. Story before glory. Why go for peace? Life is so full of sense. Crocodile tears and lies. Music never dies. Oh yo 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 yo. Oh no 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 no. Oh yo 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 yo. Oh no 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 no. Oh yo 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 yo. Oh no 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 no. Oh yo 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 yo. On the low, long thing on the low. On the low, long thing on the low. I be the music messiah. I be the music messiah. On the low, long thing on the low. On the low, long thing on the low. Anything that actually come to pass, cause I make a sound that never dies. Oh yo 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 yo. Oh no 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 no. Oh yo 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 yo. Oh no 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 no. Oh yo 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 yo. Oh no 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 no. Oh yo 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 yo. They can't see what I see. We send it all the dabby. They try to be me. Paris sees what I mean. Them pop see, them mom see. Them know if you reach me. I get better, grace up a better face. You should never face. I keep on my grace on my better days. The beast, the misses. On the low, long thing on the low. On the low, long thing on the low. I be the music messiah. I be the music messiah. On the low, long thing on the low. On the low, long thing on the low. Anything that actually come to pass, cause I make a sound that never dies. When you get nothing, you go see nobody. People go laugh because poverty look funny. Now I get something, people keep coming. Many melodies, I got to talk something. When you get nothing, you go see nobody. People go laugh because poverty look funny. Now I get something, people keep coming. Many melodies, I got to talk something. On the low, long thing on the low. On the low, long thing on the low. I be the music messiah. I be the music messiah.
Just kill the man. Put a gun against his head. Pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun. But now I've gone and thrown it all away.
16, what a tragedy. Never did imagine he would be the next in line to be the hood's next casualty. Cookie cutter kid simply lacked originality. Mom's worked 2 jobs, but his daddy was an absentee. It happened to be August, it was hot, but if you asking me, it was the kind of thing that was bound to happen eventually. This girl that he was crushing on ever since elementary invited him to her crib for the party of the century. He shouldn't have been driving, though he had a license technically. He pulled up to the house, opened the trunk, and for a second he thought about the consequences of behaving recklessly, but tucked it in his waist and then approached the party skeptically. Inevitably, he had a couple shots and then essentially he got into an argument with a former enemy. Somebody shouted out, "Yo, that's the dude that stole my MPC." He pulled it out, cocked and squeezed just like it was meant to be.
Just kill the man. Put a gun against his head. Pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun. But now I've gone and thrown it all away.
He didn't have to do it, he was new to all this gangstering. Just a little knucklehead, trying to do his gangster thing. Practicing his gangster lean, and now he done a gangster thing. Ambulances coming, party over, and it's thanks to him. He feeling that adrenaline as he proceeds to flee the scene. Whipping in the speeding lane, swerving in the freezing rain. He passing by his school, think he's never going to school again. Never act a fool again, he'll never pack a tool again. He used to be such a good kid, he never was a hooligan. Probably never hit that YMCA pool again, cause after an encounter with a bully named Julian, he bought a 22 from a dude he knew from school, and then he brought it to this party, and he drank a little booze, and then he lost his temper, can't remember what it was went through him, and all place bulletin, all you just get picture with him, get him alive, bring him here, we'll figure what to do with him.
Just kill the man. Put a gun against his head. Pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun. But now I've gone and thrown it all away.
He driving with his knees, he takes a celly out his pocket. Same feeling as the weapon, first time he ever cocked it. Still gripping in the other hand as if he couldn't drop it. Only got a 22 and now he wished he had a chopper, cause a lot of coppers flocking. And they got a helicopter and his liver's dying wish is just another shot of vodka. And his mama always wanted him to grow to be a doctor, but his options got diminished in the streets without a papa. Now his life about to change and he's powerless to stop it. He ain't really steal the MPC, but that's another topic. He pressed the mama button on the phone, it's on and popping. Now he's weaving through the traffic with no signs of ever stopping. Looking at the road ahead of him, he sees the cops, the block, the Glock's aim, trying to put him in a boxer on a jocket. His mama picks the phone up while she's fingering the locket. Man, the party of the century ended up so catastrophic.
As a girl, my family emigrated from Kenya to the United States. New country, new people, new language, but the one thing that remained was the presence of my Savior, Jesus Christ. This didn't surprise me. I grew up knowing my God was everywhere, that he saw everything. I believed him to be a benevolent being whose image I was created in, even as I looked up at his portrait that was hanging in my grandmother's home, a frame full of blonde hair, pink and pale skin, eyes, a light blue piercing enough to draw blood, an image so holy, but one that did not allow me to see myself in my Creator. But as a child, it didn't matter. I believed in the Word of God. I read it like a love letter that he wrote me. I saw the preacher as the postman speaking deliverance each service until one day in Sunday school, we were wrapping English Bibles for poor kids in Botswana, and I wondered, in what language did God listen? Did he hear my prayers clearly in Swahili? Did he hear me better now that my amens were sent up in a foreign man's tongue? A foreign man whose face looked more like his blue-eyed son I'd seen growing up. I thought maybe we sent English Bibles because his ears, they tasted the sweet sound of prayer better when spoken in this tongue. I know, looking back, it sounds like a silly moment to start questioning your faith, but that day I learned that once the seed of doubt is planted, its roots will always thirst. So I began to read about God. Each page was like a raindrop of history. I lost my religion in floods of understanding, but I grew closer to divinity, and eventually branches on that tree of doubt spread so wide that they blocked out even his divine light. It was around the same time that I realized that the poor kids I'd sent Bibles to, they were poor partly because of how that Bible had been used. See, when the missionaries came to Africa, Christianity swept our lands like a biblical plague. Our firstborns were smothered under the cover of night. Our waters, they flowed red and full, swollen like the bodies of stolen daughters. We were left in the darkness of colonization for 8 decades. We became a continent of Jobs, promised salvation but seeing suffering tenfold from those who came claiming grace but belting gospels of genocide, from those who beat tradition from elder tongues and called it tithe, from those who called losing our culture a tax for finding salvation in Christ. And ain't it funny how they used their God to justify the taking of what ours had blessed us with for centuries? How they claimed to introduce God to our lands when our lands birthed even their humanity. See, Jomo Kenyatta once said, when the missionaries arrived, the Africans had the land and the missionaries had the Bible. They taught us how to pray with our eyes closed. And when we opened them, they had the land and we had the Bibles. Do you see how swiftly they pull wool from the Lamb of God over our eyes? The greatest lie colonialism ever told was that it brought God to Africa. Yes, they brought their Bibles, but they did not bring God to our lands. Yes, they brought their churches, but they did not bring God to our lands. Yes, they brought their guns, but they did not bring God to our lands. What they brought was an image made to justify the breaking of our bodies like communion bread, a false idol that to this day I still see hanging so many Kenyan homes, a frame full of blonde hair, pink and pale skin, eyes, a light blue piercing enough to draw blood, to have already drawn blood.
You're listening to the Smokin' Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
We're on a mic 10 p.m. to midnight with poetry, music, and that cannabis talk. What's going on, man?
Hey, man, trying to hear some good music. That was some good poetry.
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
Nice.
To poetry. But
Yeah, the first song we played was Greg Roy, artist named Greg Roy. He did a special for us, which is pretty impressive. Dope reggae singer. Next song was another MC out of Nigeria, MC Lakeside. Shout out to MC Lakeside. He's doing his thing down there.
let's go.
Or over there, I should say. And then the last artist was Infinite the Ghost, another dope poet actually and musician, and that was Frequency on the poem. So definitely check them out, people.
How are you doing though?
Overall, I can't complain. Hectic, but that's everybody's life, I think. So I'm just trying to I'm trying to Tai Chi my way through this. Just go with the flow. I'm not trying to go against the grain because sometimes you can't stop things. You just got to go where how the wind blow,
Yep.
So
riding the wave, that's what I call it.
Yeah, riding the wave, man. Just trying to do that for the end of this year and hopefully into next year because, we only can control so much. So there's no point in getting stressed out over it. You just keep pushing through, and sometimes you gotta go around or under or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, this is my depressing time of the year. The clocks go back. And,
I hear you there.
there's no more motorcycle riding unless you travel out of state. And, I don't have any winter activities really.
Right.
I
Well,
can snowboard, but I'm not a big snowboarder.
You're gonna have to find one, man, because it's training, right?
Yeah, that just have to get my mindset to that. But
So this is that's I feel the same way. I'm usually at least get one more race in before the end of the year, but this year I'm not doing that. So I feel you there. I'm already antsy.
yeah, it's already been over a month since I've been on the track. I mean, I've been on my street bike, but
Right. Same here.
now it's almost time to put that away. So yeah, It's getting to that point where
Heated gear, man. Heated gear. Just I'm telling you, I might be the only fool out there in the winter with heated gear on, but I'm warm and I get to ride, so I get to take a few steps back from the ledge.
yeah, it'll be in the works.
Yeah.
Got a lot of projects for some coming years. So
Listen, prep for next season, right?
oh yeah.
And that's a process in itself. But I'm looking forward to next season, and I'm going to be racing in some new clubs next year. So I'm looking forward to some new tracks. So I'm definitely I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Even though the weather is the clock's turned back and it's dark out at like 4:27.
It's gonna go down. It's gonna be like 4:15 soon.
Yeah, I mean, you got until December 21st, 22nd before it starts to get light again. So, but if you keep yourself busy, this is time to work out. This is the time to get your mind right. This is if you're up north. I mean, if you're in the south, you're outside playing.
This is what we do up north to prepare.
What I'm saying?
Cold coming in
to prepare for whatever's going to happen next spring. So I'm excited. Speaking of motorcycle racing, we have MotoGP.
It's all done.
All done.
Speaking of depressing, no more motorcycle racing either. Racing's all done.
We have World Superbike this weekend.
Yeah, that's.
But did you watch the races?
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. It was a sold out crowd. They said there in Valencia.
Yeah,
over 100,000+ people.
Yeah, which is if you haven't gone to one of these things, you have to go. And we'll get back to MotoGP. But there's a guy that was on social media and he's thinking about going to watch. And a few people chimed in. I had to chime in, like, go to Mugello, because there's nothing like being around 120,000 people, and just that atmosphere.
Everybody going for the same reason.
Everybody going for the same reason, and the energy is just you can't describe it. You just got to be there.
One day, I'll get there one day.
Yeah. So, Pecco Bagnaia, he's a 2022 world champion.
Yeah, congrats to him. Even though I wanted Fabio, but he deserves it for winning. I think 6th first place podiums throughout the year. Crashing out.
Yeah, something like that.
Almost half his races.
He crashed out 5 races, I think, which is a lot. And it's pretty impressive, because if he didn't crash out, he'd have wrapped this thing up a few rounds ago. But it's changing of the guards, right? I mean, outside of Marc Marquez, everyone else is new and young.
Yeah, they're getting the grip, and it's going to be another shakeup next year. A lot of riders going to different teams.
Right, yeah.
Different bikes, and it's going to be interesting again.
I'm excited for that, because I think some of the riders like Oliveira, like Fernandez, even though he's a rookie, on the Aprilia, I think it's going to be a lot of riders fighting for that championship, the title next year.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it's going to be like Moto 3, but it's going to be pretty cool to see, I think.
It was always hard to get back-to-back, I didn't think I wanted Fabio to win, but
right.
I knew it wasn't going to be possible after the incidents, after the second half of the season.
Yeah.
But, next year it's going to be even hard for Pecco to win, because Bastianini's going to be on his behind.
I don't know, because they both on new bikes, and I think Pecco has a little more experience at adapting to a new bike, and because he went through it this year, because he struggled in the beginning of 2022. So I think Bastianini may run into that for 2023 in those first few races. He may not.
Same bike though. I mean, it's just
No,
different year.
No,
I mean,
no, no,
I
no.
mean,
no.
like as far as manufacturer.
Yeah. No, still, you think look like Yamaha. Yamaha was dominating in 2015. You know what I mean? And then Honda was dominating, and now they're struggling because they keep building. You know, they keep trying to push the envelope. But I think for Bastianini, he had Pecco's 21 bike, and that bike was already set up. You know, and that's where Pecco struggled in the first 5 races. And once they got the settings right, and Ducati admitted that they screwed up, because even Jack Miller too struggled in the beginning.
That's a fact.
And then once they figured that out, that's you know, riders who are factory riders who have to test equipment who are not used to that yet. You know what I'm saying? So it took them a little bit. I think it took them a little bit longer to figure that out and play that role. But now Bastianini's going to have to play that role.
Yeah, sucks to be a really good rider, huh? They make you the test guy.
Yeah, you listen. You got because you're pushing it forward. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next season. And then you got World Superbike that's coming up this weekend.
Yeah, and then Moto 2 is pretty interesting too. Igor threw it away.
Yeah. After that happened, after he crashed out, I didn't want to watch it anymore. I was rooting for him, and even like I get it. You know, when you're fighting, you can't really, you know, like what Pecco did and just kind of just manage the race. That's and also keep heating your tires. That's very hard. So you're always going for the win. And you know, he went for it, and what is this? I think it's his second year in Moto 2, so I think next year he's going to be strong. But he did throw it away, and it was painful to watch after that.
Yeah, it was pretty painful. I mean, yeah, the Japanese team, they wanted that.
Oh yeah, but they know they're close. You're listening to the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
So I mean, you know, Cameron Bobier is coming back to America, even Moto 2.
He already posted a picture online that he was already back in the States. Like, wow, he must be happy.
Yeah.
He couldn't get back fast enough. And he crashed out in his last race too.
Crashed out in a bunch of races. That's the part that's pretty bad.
But he should have stayed.
I agree with you. He definitely should have stayed.
It was room for you.
Yeah, because he had the pace. You know what I mean? But he missed America, and you know, and I get that part of it. But you know, it's you look at Joe Roberts, right, and even the number 4 there, Sean Dylan Kelly. You know, those guys are sticking around, and you know, and it's good to see. You know, it's good for America. So I you know, it's even if you're struggling, you know, it's been a while that Americans were in Moto GP.
Yeah.
Not even, you know, these guys are not even in Moto GP. And I think Joe Roberts screwed up there because he had the opportunity to ride for Aprilia, and he turned it down because everybody thought that the bike was bad.
And you never know what's gonna happen. You can bring it way back, like when Rossi crashed out the last race and let Nicky Hayden win the title.
Yeah.
So,
You know, it happens.
still speaking on motorcycles, the Loudon Classic, the 100th, that'll be in New Hampshire. They have a pot that is $250,000 now, so it's gone up.
I know. I know. I'm working out.
Yeah, I know. So the top 30 riders get a prize. You know, that is pretty big. I can't wait to see who shows up.
You know, if folks weren't motivated before, they're motivated now.
Right.
You know what TJ's saying is, for the first time in Loudon, the what is it, New England Motorcycle Road Racing series has a $255,000 purse. Top 30 only 30 riders can qualify, and even in last place, you still get $1,000. If you win, you get $55,000. You know, and then so forth. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And it's only one race. It's in June. It's the Loudon Classic. It's the 100th running of this series, and it's the oldest road racing series in the U.S.
And I think you have to be an expert. I mean, I know last year they did let a couple amateurs run, but I'm
I
not sure.
I think if
So,
there's
we'll see.
amateurs running the times, I think if there's amateurs running the time, I
Let's
I
see.
I don't I think like last year.
I gotta see what the time is. Last year was 118. So if it's any lower, I don't know.
Yeah. So so it'll be interesting. So. And like I said, well, I don't think I told you, but we'll see. I'm gonna be at Loudon next year. So I wasn't planning on it, but now that this is there, I'm curious to see how quick I can get. I guess, So, but a lot's gonna happen between now and then. So we'll see.
Let's go.
You listen to the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
Let's do this.
Love to see one of these NFL owners when somebody disrespects our flag. To say, get that son of a off the field right now, out. He's fired.
Yeah,
He's fired.
yeah, yeah. Man, it's because I got that black on me. My president ain't coming back for me. The paramilitary tackle me. The world be trying to break the back on me. Oh Lord, I ain't used to this, no, I'm not. But any day I stay thankful for all I got. Cause any day police can blast on me. And any day could be my last, and it's cause I got that black on me, yeah, yeah. We traded whips for cars, chains for jewelry, I know freedom's a farce. Y'all ain't fooling me, I believe in God, and he taught us. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. So if I shoot and steal, or get drafted to the NBA, getting paid to shoot and steal. Racism isn't different, the occupation they shoot and steal. Label me a son of a they shoot to kill. So tell me how you defending the peace. Putting military trucks in civilian streets. Terrorist activity in the Middle East. Yes, somehow America's villain is me. It's all lies and I don't subscribe to it. Racism is still alive, they can't hide it. It took Malcolm, yeah, took Martin. You ain't part of the outcome, yeah, then you part of the because problem. I got that black on me. My president ain't coming back for me. The paramilitary tackle me. The world be trying to break the back on me. Oh Lord, I ain't used to this, no, I'm not. But any day I stay thankful for all I got. Cause any day police can blast on me. And any day could be my last. And it's cause I got that black on me, yeah, yeah. Black, all black every day. Black tie, black suit, black wedding ring, black culture, black origins, black DNA. White people, yo, it's all black back in the day. Black pride, black history in society. Black on black crime, fake news entirely. Black wealth, black businesses, black millionaires, black rallies, black activism, we really here. Black on me, black don't crack, get it clear. Black car, black interior, shifting gears, black comedy, black actors, black athletes, black girl magic, every Olympic track meet, black anatomy, black heritage, black families, say a prayer for Puerto Rico, black tragedy, black lives matter, say it loud, shout it out, Trump still scraping the black off of the White House. I got that black on me, my president ain't coming back for me, the paramilitary tackle me, the world be trying to break the back on me, oh Lord, I ain't used to this, no I'm not, but any day I stay thankful for all I got, cause any day police can blast on me.
Yup. Listen. They know me at every corner store. Montego, Perico, and they both coming raw. We posted at every corner store. The bus don't get hit with this 44. They know me at every corner store. Montego, Perico, and they both coming raw. We posted at every corner store. The bus don't get hit with this 44. I'm back now. The streets know I'm a cash cow. Every rhyming could pull a rack out. Spanish call me Moreno, whatever that's about. I make a little thought blow me, then blow her back out. I know they getting it well, cause I'm getting it too. But the real question is, who you getting it through? Still box poppy at the corner, smoking what we wanna. Just pull up on us, see my op baby's mothers. Couldn't name a day where strip ain't lit. Drinking rose, Oye, bent off sips. Hit Philly, he in Philly, trying flip that brick. If they double back, flip that whip. We at a corner store near you. Amigo only Espanol. He
bricks came from Puerto Rico. Sandwich bad, bacon, soda, Gatorade, and Pastelito. Corner store legend, every trip I pop a Cino. Poppy said he back now, told me how Pablo set up Chico. Got gang out front, posted with the fuego. C12, it's time to hasta luego. Kilo K, what you say? Diamond Spacio, lift this pistol, the holes in your fellatio. Zip on the ace, talking about some Spanish bricks. Get a number, looking good, we gon' get a Spanish brick. Pull up on me, got the bag, I'ma get a Spanish friend. We meet Poppy and leave him stiffer than a mannequin. Free nigga, these suckers, born B nigga, new V in it. Ain't rented, getting cheese in it. I'm a boss, I hop out comfortably at these corner stores. Walk around with this ace, sound like a 44. Boom!
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, bring it through the city, take a walk with you. Let me take a second just to talk to you. Yeah, no matter what happens, we gon' turn it up. Yeah, whole OZ, we gon' burn it up. Yeah, got it off the corner, plug in California. Got some in San Diego, go and see them when I want them. Got another in Nevada, I might put some diamonds on them. Brand new money, not a day old, every time I pull up on you. Tell me where you need it, we can get it to you. I be chugging through the city, know how I maneuver. We just getting started, this shit getting scary. Got a pretty thing with me, shorty, look like Halle Berry. I ain't worried about you, don't be worried about me neither. I ain't worried about you, if she trippin', I'ma leave her. I just said her famous, I got her chicken wings and pizza. When she say she never done this shit before, I don't believe her. Tell her lie, make it sound good, make it sound good. Tell her do me like the woman from my hometown would. I ain't Drizzy, but I pulled up in a 6 on these hoes. I'm an underground king on the throne. You know me, bring it through the city, take a walk with you. Let me take a second just to talk to you. Yeah, no matter what happens, we gon' turn it up. Yeah, whole OZ, we gon' burn it up. Yeah, got it off the corner, plug in California. Got some in San Diego, go and see them when I want them. Got another in Nevada, I might put some diamonds on them. Brand new money, not a day old, every time I pull up on you.
I learned that grief will humble you, that there's not enough success in the world to make you forget that your loved ones are dead. I know that I've been an asshole to all of my friends since my brother died. That there's a girl in Detroit named Sharice that I hadn't talked to in 3 years prior to the night he was murdered, and she still showed up to the crime scene before his body was even removed from the concrete. She drank her liver into the darkest of holes and listened to the song Drunk in Love with me for 56 days straight. And the first time I felt well enough to go outside sober and sleep in the dark again, I stopped answering her phone calls. Sharice, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Even though there's a good fucking excuse for it, I know sometimes we become the haunted and the hunter, the monster that we are running from and the monster that we are becoming. I know that your phone has been ringing nonstop since the overdose, since your mother passed, since your relapse, since the surgery, since your lover left, since the very moment it all happened, and you've been hitting the ignore button and telling yourself that nobody cares about you. And I get it. Grief is more contagious than joy. It is much easier to share sadness than it is to be responsible for making someone else happy. Easier to hand our baggage to the people we love than move through the world freely. It's the reason I sat in my car and cried when I found out Sharice was pregnant instead of sending her a congratulations message. It's the reason I left my mother at home to mourn the death of her only son while I went out on the road to perform Poem for Strangers, because hurt people is so damn cliche but true, because you know that you can't be held accountable for anything you do under the influence of grief, and that you can blame anything on the dead, so you do. You become the excuse and the excused, the burning building and the fire, expecting to be rescued and left alone until you are left alone, until you can no longer blame your behavior on your pain, until you have to be good to your friends again, until you have to send apologies years later, until you hear someone that you love tell you that they can't forgive you and you feel success and empty in the same body until you are humbled, until you realize that you are not the only one, that we are all hurting, and as a result, hurting each other until you learn to be humble, until you learn to be grieving and also be gracious, until you learn that this was never just about you.
You're listening to the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
We're on the mic 10 p.m. to midnight with poetry, music, and the cannabis talk. Almost time to get into cannabis talk. Wow. That one right there was...
that was deep.
Yeah, T. Miller. Before that was A.B. Soren. We had 8 Zip. And before that was John Beatty. It's a pretty dope artist.
Yeah, feel a lot of that, you know.
Yeah, man. Do you want to talk about Kyrie Irving and how that's playing out? Because it's been a little bit since we've been on air, and you know it's interesting because there was a lot of prominent Black commentators or people in front of a camera, and not so much, prominent folks in front of the camera came out and was, really giving them the business, right?
Yeah, it started off, like what did he tweet? Why is everyone so mad? And you realize what he tweeted, and yeah, it shouldn't have been tweeted. I don't know what he was thinking about tweeting it, but the extent that they're taking it is it putting a sour taste in my mouth. And when I read like what he has to do to come back to the team, I'm just like, I would retire. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be even worse if that decision is made on him, and it's already bad. Like Nike dropped him already, and I don't know. It's just getting out of hand, and like I said, what he tweeted, it goes as further as why is it even out there?
Right. I think it was on his Instagram page.
Yeah,
and it was just a photo he took. So he didn't really say anything.
Yeah.
It was just a photo, but I think it probably nobody would have paid attention if Kanye wasn't already deep in it, and so but now there's a lot of people that's supporting him, and even some of the people that was really giving them the business are even rolling it back themselves now, and it's interesting to see, and it's all walks of life that's doing this, because there's some history that people need to learn, and that's what he's trying to convey out of all this. It's nothing more, and the man has come out and said he this is not him. He's not an anti-Semite. He can't be. So this is something else, because if somebody says, if I say I did not take your money, you either believe me or you don't. You know what I mean? And because in his case, they don't believe him when he says, I love everybody. I hang around everybody. Where I come from, there's all races. And so that's not me. And if he says that and you hear him say that, why would he? And he tells you he has no reason to lie. Well, what else is there?
They're just trying to embarrass him.
And that's the crazy thing, because even with the Kanye West thing, if you watch the Drink Champs, the man said he's not this. He's saying the same thing. It's like, I went too far with this thing, and I probably shouldn't have, because I was upset. That's why he did it, and he apologized for that for the most part. But when if you can't take a person at their word, what do we have? You know what I'm saying, as a society?
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's just like you said before, which words don't hurt people or offend people as much.
Right.
And people take it to the extreme, and it's like a seesaw. Everyone leans one way, and it's hard to get it back to the other side.
Right.
And it's just it's just unfortunate, and the fact that like you said, Kanye West already was in hot water with this situation a couple weeks ago,
Right.
and then now he's gonna tweet something like this, put him in the same position.
Right. And I will say this: neither one of them gives two shits about the money. There's a lot of people that think that they care about the money, but they
So-
don't care because Kanye. Remember, Kanye West was 50 was he was in the negative, like 54 million or something like that.
And someone said a great point is, they might have lost a lot of money, but did they get the money yet?
Yeah.
So, you think of it that way. You didn't even get the money yet. You can still find another way.
Well, not only that, but you can't sell your soul for money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you can't sell your soul for money. So that's it. So I had to come to terms with that once upon a time in my life where I was chasing money. You know what I mean? And it's like that will lead you astray. Now I just do the things I love, and that's that. Money comes and go, but that's not the most important thing in life. And so when people look at that and think it's the most important thing in life, and they think, oh, they lost this and they lost that, well, they probably wouldn't even have spent it anyway.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter because it's that comes and go. You know what I mean? So and we're only here for a minute, so you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just the way they're going about it. I don't agree with that. We'll see what Kyrie Irving does. Like, I listen to a lot of other people speak on it, and
I hope he stands his ground.
Yeah.
I hope he can take his talent to China. He can take his talent overseas. Look at Marbury, right? He's a god over in China.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll stand his ground because when he didn't get the COVID shot,
he lost money for that.
Yeah, and he stood his ground, and it's
if
been a problem for a while in the NBA. And
I wouldn't say he's
another reason.
I wouldn't say he's a problem. He's not a problem to exercise your freedom of your right, to say things, right? You're not being malicious.
Well, no, I'm not saying a problem as like what he's saying. I mean, like his activity is during the season, like he was always injured. He did something to always cause the franchise to like, hey, we need you. Like, you need to start playing.
Yeah, no,
he does speak up, which I do appreciate from Kyrie.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate the vaccination thing, but the way this case just came over, he's gonna get that money back.
Yeah.
In New York, so he might have won in the long run, and he didn't. It's a tricky situation because it's a team sport. If it was an individual sport and he sat out because of it, then he's only affecting himself.
Yeah.
And that would be that's different. Whereas a team sport and these people, basketball players got a small. We all have a small shelf life when it comes to physical activity like that at a high level. So, that's the thing I feel that's my knock against Kyrie. Like it's a team sport. So, but at the same time, he got to. It is what it is, and he got to stand his ground. So,
yeah, we'll see how it goes. And there's a lot of people backing him up now. So,
no doubt. All right, so it is time to get into the Pot Cafe. So let's do this thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pot Cafe. Roll, light, smoke, hey, roll, light, smoke, hey, roll, light, smoke, hey, roll, light, smoke. Break the spinners down in my rollie and I'm sculling it up. We put the whole 7 in it, you ain't holding it up. Hitting 12 in the lane while we sparking it up. Rex at 45 and Big Eaters soon the city show up. But the city been waiting, we been cooking and baking. Planning, putting that cake in, plotting, moving and shaking. LeBron, Steph Curry with the rock, shake the pot. There's some big boss cannabis talk, cultural elevation.
Ain't no telling where we taking this thing from here. It's 420 in this world somewhere. Outside, stay rolling it up. I know, stay rolling it up. What's up? Ain't no telling where we taking this thing from here. If you feeling me, but one near me. West side, stay rolling it up. East Coast, stay rolling it up. What's up?
Roll, light, smoke, hey, roll, light, smoke, hey. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pot Cafe.
It is the Pot Cafe. I have a complaint, or I guess a soapbox moment since Big E's not here. You know, and we've talked about this before in the show, but the consistency in cannabis, you know, especially on the medical side, but even on the recreational side, should be more consistent as far as what they put for levels of THC. You can go to two different dispensaries and get the same THC level, and when you smoke them, it's two different results. And you know, there has to be a way to solve that problem, because I know, you know, they have an idea.
Well, it's crazy. Like, I stick to, I don't know, it's hard. I find a weed that I like and I kind of stick to it. I get a couple different strains and I just test them out with different, you know, dispensaries and see which one I like.
Right.
And that's how I judge off of that. But how you're saying they're all inconsistent, I don't know if you're trying a lot of different types of bud.
Yeah,
I
mean,
can't tell the difference, but I see what you mean, though. I see what you mean.
You know,
Sometimes I get a strain, I'm just like, whoa, this is not how I was when I first got it from you guys.
Correct. even the same strain.
Like, what is it? The weather? We didn't get enough sunshine? What's going on?
It something happened. They screwed up somewhere, because they'll, you know, like most dispensaries will figure it out. But I think if they get a bad batch, they should not sell it.
Price.
Or give it away at like nickels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's you know, if back in the day when we were getting bud, we would complain. It's like, yo, man, this thing ain't the same thing. And not to say you can't complain at the dispensaries. You can, and you probably even get a better result in change. But, you know, I think if it's, and it's not just like dispensaries. I know, like, you know, even farmers will have bad crops and still sell products. I mean, hell, Ford had a bad product and still sold it, right? And so there's that thing of people selling things that they may or may not know. But I think with cannabis, I assume they're testing it in house and they know it's not the same. And they either bring the THC level down or don't sell it.
Usually always says it's tested, so let you know.
Yeah,
I could be there testing. I can tell y'all. Definitely tell y'all.
You know, and I think that's the problem with the amount of dispensaries that are coming up. What I think the problem is just there's not a lot of good growers, and that's, you know, if, you know, hopefully over time that will happen. But if it's not, you know, we're gonna have a lot of fast food chain cannabis places that's I
just hope they're not rushing the process just because, you know, everyone's trying to establish a dispensary and everyone's trying to, like, sell their product, you know, at a location to get people in. You know, everybody wants weed. You know, I don't know if that's the problem.
Well, I mean, I think for
it could be a problem.
I think it's, you know, everyone's tolerance is a little different. So my tolerance is probably a lot higher than some people. It maybe not, but, you know, I generally like the highest THC that I can get my hands on. I mean, there's a few times that, you know, like in Amsterdam, you know, amnesia that knocked me down. But for the most part, you know, I like the higher THCs, especially on the indica side, even on the sativa side. Doesn't matter, because it's gonna smoke the best generally.
I like my hybrids and indicas.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was a big fan of sativa before. I still am, but mostly now I like the indicas and something that smokes. You know, I'd rather something that has less THC and smokes clean than more THC and doesn't. You're listening to the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
So, you know, in Massachusetts, I've seen that in in Illinois, Maine, Rhode Island. California is pretty consistent, but I have not gone to a lot of dispensaries in Cali.
That I want to do.
So,
That Cali
but
bud.
yeah, but Cali is, and there's ones here in Mass that because we're in the top 4, I think. It's like top 7, but really it is top 4 because like the first 6 are between Colorado and California towns. So. Which is pretty good, but we can get better.
It will get better.
So for sure. Get into some more music.
The agent.
Young, black, and witty as so you can join in the club. Pushing they luck. My niggas 40 and up. Ridicule my niggas 40 and up. Time's up now, surely it's us. Time ticket to the album drop. Euro with the bread like a hero with the fixes. The MC flipping with the arms like a Nero. Shot like Rick Fox when I parlay with the Vixens. Breaking like Turbo at the shop with the broomstick. Mitigate the 8 balls pushing by the pool stick. Dash like Stacy with the cash, got him clueless. Cherry on top, I can do without the cool whip. Born in mid-May, I can do without the bull. Nuba with your niggas went and pull. Stick to the cool. Still bound by unspoken rules. Your lanes ain't tough, y'all approachable. Don't let this game get the best of you. School of hard knocks and they testing you. They don't want these problems, I don't expect them to. Beef and rock, I turn to vegetables. I turn to vegetables. Don't let this game get the best of you. They don't want these problems, I don't expect them to. Beef and rock, I turn to vegetables. Gotta kill the game, moving at my tempo. Gotta stop drinking, thinking to ease my mental. Malcolm with the rifle pointed out the window. Think it's so simple, let me remind you that my flow's so cold. My mind is a full logo. Out of state trips, you to a local. Sure hope you get the message when we send it to you. Sometimes they gotta hit your mans when we meant it for you. Suited up, we attending the Oscars. Pot stickers and lobster, we eating gravy. All of us authentic, so they rock with us. Blaine, I hate y'all like swastikas. Wouldn't you like to be like us? Eat like us, speak like us, think like us, get money with us. Been through hell and back, so we ride together. Birds of us others, so we fly together. Don't let this game get the best of you. School of hard knocks and they testing you. They don't want these problems, I don't expect them to. Beef and rock, I turn to vegetables. I turn to vegetables. Don't let this game get the best of you. They don't want these problems, I don't expect them to. Beef and rock, I turn to vegetables.
Yeah, excuse me, gorgeous, do you mind? Just wanna borrow a millisecond of your time. Just 1 second. Couldn't but notice out the corner of my eye. I mean, you look radiant, how you shine. Oh, God. Can we exchange numbers? You can hit me up. We can go for dinner, but can you pick me up? First, I'll hit the barber, he'll fix me up. Baby, maybe later you can screw me like a sippy cup. Just know I bring nothing to the table. I'm sorry. This shit, I can barely cover the cable. So if this waitress dish thinks to fix her fucking lips by the tip, or this drink when I barely took a sip, no. I ordered the free water. By the way, I got a son, another son and a daughter. I still live with their mama. Oops. But I'ma leave you out it. I don't want any drama now.
Believe it. This can get wicked in there. Yep, when it's kids, young Kwan gonna give her a beer. Don't play if you know where you live. You capping, you working that list. The family, you know we on go. With a 10 that's attacking your toe. 20K for us, a book is a show. get wiggling in. Down, yep, when I see kid, whoa, I'm gonna give her a bill. Don't play if you know where you live. You capping, you working at least. The family, you know we don't go. With a team that's a tag on your toe. 20K for us, a book is a show.
This you can get wiggling. The gag is stickling. Seen you the one in my hitters. Get it to the high bidder. You soft, you not solid. Hop on the plane on the pilot. She ride on it, give her mileage. They see the diamond, smiling. I made it 40, get the wallet. Big rest, I ain't having no wallet. Big drip, I ain't having no stylist. Giving me the eyes. Be soft like Midas. Get in your bag, no money leave. You know this is major league. Hop on the jet, no trampoline. She sexy, no Maybelline. On your not break your spleen. She's like me. On your once, I don't need her. They broke, they scheming. Made a wrong move, you see the beam. My diamond, they blind, you see the gleam. The family, you know we the money team.
Get wiggling in. Yep, when I see kids, young Kong gonna give her a bill. Don't play if you know where you live. You capping, you working at least. The family, you know we don't go. With a team that's a tag on your toe. 20K for us, a book is a show.
Yeah, we from Boston. Some days you walking in the snow when your toes cold. The winter's coming, trying to make it home. Your sneakers is wet and your hoodie soaked. We woke up blessed to another morning. I hope your homie don't break the code. Ain't got to nap, I'll be really on it. Trying to stay warm with a cup of joe. Pray to God, I know a mama morning. Give us the strength to push forward. Break the barriers like bulldozers. Everybody stay cool if they pull us over. Yeah, wait, I got a lot on my plate. I'm just trying to get through the day. I gotta maneuver and gain. Fast pace. This Doty just smacked my face. Time and just move it, don't wait. Gotta just move through the pain.
I move through the six with the shuffle. They dig what I'm kicking, no shovel. I step with a drip, leave a puddle. Been away, but the flexing is subtle. When I'm in, I'm the one who they checking for. Just Louis the belt with the checkerboards. I gotta get it, whatever cost. Just as small while we here, but we living large. This for them days where I had to finesse. Speak through the beats like a jab and connect. When things went wrong, no, we had to collect. My son need them J's, doggy, what you expect? Stay close from bro, no, he never forget. Look at the phone, wonder should I accept? 6 a.m. while I'm boarding the jet. I've been up for hours, I ain't even slept.
Yeah, wait, I got a lot on my plate. I'm just trying to get through the day. I gotta maneuver and gain. Fast pace. This Doty just smacked my face. Time and just move it, don't wait. Gotta just move through the pain. My stocks increase, my bands increase, my pants increase, my brand is neat. Been doing this since 17, been going it for the whole year. Ain't taking out a summer off, I'll never stop, I'll never flop. I do my job around the clock, ain't no days off, just ask my pops.
Just ask my moms, maneuver the steps. My mind is complex, I never forget how much I am blessed. From lip to the step, so watch how you step. Where's you from, how you earn your respect? Do you stand on your word, are your values correct? Relax and reflect, a lot on my plate, a lot on my chest. Defying the odds, let God do the rest.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the first annual Boy Purge, sponsored by the U.S. government. Commencing at the siren, any and all clapbacks upon boys, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning when the purge concludes. Blessed be our newfounded mothers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all. Yo, let me just do one more check real quick. Okay, so I got my pepper spray, check. Knife, check. AK-47, check. And then, of course, I gotta have my bait. So then I got my wave brush, my protein shake, and a stack of John Mayer albums. Okay, check, check, check. Let me catch a boy. Oh, look at this one, y'all. My ex, Robert, or should I say, rob you of 7 loyal months of your life and leave you for a chick with halitosis and an Instagram vocabulary. I'ma just put that the van with the rest of them, and I know it's getting kind of full, but if Chris Brown just bends his legs and Justin Timberlake stops trying to crip walk in the back seat, They're gonna be room back there, you know? And I know he don't listen to black people, but he better tonight because I'm about to raise the terror alert to right up in this bitch. I'm the judge, the jury, the jail. The government bestows upon me the license to kill, and I ain't about to let my country down. I seek the blood of the one who said, no one will believe you when I'm done with you. When I've washed myself clean of you. The one who made me buy into his love and then hid all the receipts when all other eyes were around. Tonight, there is no consequence to perfection, to protection or revenge. And I know before I didn't have the words to say otherwise, but now I have bullets, have knife, have blade, have permission. Boy, did you not think I'll come for you? Think I'll just play victim? Think I'll be another frail body hiding beneath the bed? Ha! Here comes your worst motherfucking nightmare. Ha! Here comes me carving no into every bone in your body. Ha! He who laughs loudest laughs last, and you ain't staying now, nigga. I see the way that you look at other women, the way that you once looked at me, and you think I'm gonna let you go tonight after the entire nation gave me the green light to light your ass up. Fucking hand me the bat, nail, spike, billy club, zip tie, taser, tear gas, gun, unload the fucking van. Give me him, that one. Hands up, don't move. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it.
You're listening to the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
Man, that one they call F-Boy Purge.
That's going.
Before that was Sonic Selection. Before that was Kato Banks. I forget who it was before that, but it'll come back. I'll tell you.
A lot of people still listen to poetry more than music, or at least equal. No, just people listen to music and dissect it. So
Right. I mean, you can and you know, it's the same thing. Poetry is music. Music is poetry. You know, when it comes to the lyrics, you know, depends on how you write it, but it's still all a flow. So yeah, no, I definitely think there are a lot more people today into poetry than say 20 years ago. Young people, I should say, which is pretty cool to see. We've played a bunch of folks on the show, some young kids, and they have these regional competitions, and these young kids can, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, like it was always around, but I remember there's a TV show called The Lyrics is Lounge Show.
Right.
I don't know if you ever heard of that show, but basically, it was like a MTV show, but they would freestyle.
Oh yeah, I remember that show.
And situations they were in. So
right, yeah, you know, they had the deaf poetry and all these things.
Yeah, Most Def was actually the host. So,
yeah.
And that was my show.
Yeah, no doubt. And so they, you know, we had mentioned before on previous shows, but we're gonna keep mentioning it. If you're into poetry and into slam poetry, now's the time to look for a venue that has slam poetry, because more than likely they're looking for a slam team and putting together a slam team, and it's where, you know, a lot of different towns come together and compete and try to see who's the best individual slam poet and also team slam poet. It's pretty
dope.
Yeah, man, it's pretty dope. So if you're in Massachusetts, there's a bunch of venues here that now's the time. Start, you know, getting out there and slamming.
Dug it.
Yeah, man. And you know,
remember, we used to write poems, but I haven't really wrote any poems myself.
Well, you know, we encourage people to write, so definitely, you know, I always tell people, like, you know, I write 90% of the things I write is awful, but that 10% is pretty good. It's all practice, you know. If you write often, eventually it gets good, or maybe you just start out good. Who knows? And you know, but you have to practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, don't want to write it like I'm about to rap.
Oh, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. For sure, there's nothing wrong with that.
I
There's
know.
no wrong way, because you'll find your way. That's the cool part about it. You know, like everybody will find their voice when it comes to poetry. You start doing just going in, and eventually you'll find your voice, and then you'll know it. You know your lane, or you may your lane is no lane at all. It's your choice. But you know, it's just sitting down and it doesn't matter on a train, bus, driving, whatever. You know, even if it's just one or two lines, that's you know that there's nothing wrong with that, because eventually it'll turn into, you know,
Yeah,
some
it's
beautiful
just-
things.
It's just such an art, and it's just can be so powerful. So
And it's also very good to just you know get things off your chest. It's very therapeutic, because you know if you're pissed off about something and you go write a poem, once you're done, that energy is now transformed into that poem, and it's no longer in your body, and you can, you know, you know where it is if you need to get a hold of it, but you don't have to walk around with it.
that's true.
You
That's
know,
a fact.
Yeah, you know, it's saved many lives, and it will continue, because I mean the same thing with music, right? You know, these people pour out their pain in the pen, and you know, and that's how we survive if you can't lay down on the couch and talk to somebody. You know what I mean? You listen to the Smokin Rhyme Show. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
We're gonna wrap this thing up, and we'll be back with more of the poetry, more of the music, more of the cannabis talk, as always, right?
That's right. You know, it's always good to get your dose of all of your favorite things. So at least one of them.
Right. Now we are coming up on the Thanksgiving festivities and the season of giving, and you know, are you getting in the mood? I made a mistake going to the mall today, and the place is already packed.
That's another thing. It's like I hate online shopping. Because, you know, if something's wrong, it's just like, damn. Like, I like to see it in person, but there's no right time to, like, go into the mall around this time of year.
No, on a motorcycle is the best way to go, or a scooter, some two-wheel vehicle that you can just bob and weave through, because.
But it's not even that. It's like when you go into the stores, there's shit everywhere. Like, they don't have enough workers. Like, clean it up. It's not, you know, you don't find the right size.
Right.
It's just the discounts. You're like, oh, this would be cool because it's cheap. You know? If you're going for what you really want, like.
So I usually wait till the last minute.
Yeah, I do too.
And usually it's not that bad, but I'm since the pandemic, you know, I'm all into the online order, and everything is I order it online. If it's not my size, I send it back. I had to get a watch fixed, and so I had to go pick it up. That's the only reason why I went to the mall. Other than that, everything gets delivered.
Yeah, it's crazy out there. And then you start running into people, you know, which is not a bad thing, but
right,
you know, you just try to get in there and get out.
Right.
At least for me.
Yeah, no, I already know what I want to get. There's no time to be wasting, and plus, you know, I leave it for those folks that like running in there. So yeah, we'll be back next week with more Smokin Rhymes. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ.
Peace.
Peace out.
See what's going on out there? What you gonna do? Y'all people ready? Who you gonna look at? Down in Washington, you got politician, liquor vision, say no ambition. Government should be separated from religion. Careful what you're watching on your television. Money is the most, and it make the big statement. Why the youth man them are beat off the pavement? Whether on the block or the blue collar shop. If you're sick and tired people, time to fight back. 2019, no unity. What's going on? Here we come unity. Everywhere you look, yo, assault and battery. Business doing business with bad companies. Destroying thousands of good families. What about the youngins and the university? sick. Tired of what they tell yo, John Public. Like it, I love it, can't tell them where to shove it. You ask for liquor more, they say not in the budget. Like a deficit's cause so we the poor. We spend it on some booze and some drugs and some girls. Who really know, cause that life is just a blur. Thank the liquor people for the education war. If we didn't lack that ability to render, give up our faith, man, easy and surrender. Someone that claims yo to be our chief, and in the end you find out that he's really a thief. What I say is true, nothing to gain by lying to you. I'm going without food, yeah, going without shoes. Nowadays to get them leaders to do, you gotta keep their pockets fat.
Life is all I know that I've got to go. I'm just not trouble. Who feels it really knows it. Life is all I know that I've got to go. I'm just not trouble. Who feels it really knows it. Really know. Who feels it really knows it.
It isn't funny, money change situations. Got people selling because of temptations. Run red lights, then face incarceration. Is it cause we're in a capitalistic nation? Hold tight, figure in your master's plan. When you do, you have to say Babylon. If them get the balls in the palm of hands, forget about it, your proper